Hello and welcome to another Stamp with Amy K YouTube Live. And today I'm going to show you how I made a fun little card after I wiggle things around a little bit with the Sunshine Vibes stamp set bundle. It is part of the Boho Vibes suite of products from the new catalog. So it's a fun one, and it's got lots of cute little images in it. It's a fantastic die set. Oop, let me wiggle the screen down here just a little bit more. All right, so we're a little more centered, hopefully. At least I'm giving it, yep, it looks like it's a little better. Okay, trying to keep everything on the screen and relatively centered, but all right. So it's got a cute little set of dies that go with it. It's fun images, fun sentiments, and yeah, just one of those kind of happy little dies. And actually, I will honestly say I was not in love with the designer series paper. When I initially looked at it in the catalog, I'm like, I don't know that I love those colors. But actually, after having it and playing with it, I really do like the colors in the paper, and I was kind of pleasantly surprised. I mean, like I said, I'm always that way though, but things that I think I'm going to love in the catalog, then all of a sudden, I don't necessarily use it very often, and things that I'm like, I don't really like that so much, then I end up loving it. So it's a great pack of paper. It's called Boho Vibes, and it's a 6x6 pack, and like I said, it's just got some fun images in it, some good background papers, and even, like I said, some that can be kind of the whole card front if you want them to be. So hey, Sally and Karen and Marilyn and Amy and Susan and Marion. And it is a dreary and cold. We're back to like 50 something, 59 degrees, 58 degrees or something, and raining here in New Jersey. So it is definitely not a very pretty day here. Glad that it's nicer in Wisconsin. So, oh, okay, you'd feel the same way about the paper. Like I said, when I looked at it initially, I'm like, I don't really love it. But after playing with it, I do like it, and I actually used it on another card. And anyway, so it's in my opinion, it's a good pack of paper. Got some good designs in it. So this is what we're making today, and there's a similar card in the annual catalog. I changed it up a little bit, but yeah, just kept it kind of pretty easy, and hopefully it won't take us too long. I did do most of the die cutting ahead of time because I know that's incredibly boring to watch a screen of nothingness. So most of the little rainbow pieces I actually had die cut ahead of time, but I'll show you the dies that I used and tell you the colors. Hopefully I remember everything. But yeah, so there it is. So Sunshine Vibes is the name of the stamp set. It's a cute one. I love the kind of big sentiments in here, and then just kind of some generic pieces. You can make a little sunshine. Oh gosh, what else? We got little lines, dots. Yeah, I don't know. You could probably use that as a moon, or you could use it as, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else you could use it as. Maybe layer on colors and kind of do a two-tone look to it or something. But yeah, just some fun images in it. And then we got this cool set of dies. So this is actually 2 dies. So this is, hey, Carla and Lisa, thanks for joining, and Kathy and Barbara, thanks, and Sherry, everybody, thanks for hopping in. So this is actually 2 separate dies. And when I looked at the sample in the catalog that I sort of based my card on, I actually thought that they had used this die and then had layered pieces on the top of it. After looking at it closely and actually reading the instructions, that's not at all what they did. So, but this die will cut out like essentially kind of a background rainbow. Basically, we'll cut, well, I guess I can show you the catalog officially now, so I will do that. So this die actually cuts kind of the negative image, if that makes sense. So it cuts out kind of, you can cut the background and then layer colors in, or paper or whatever you want underneath it to make that kind of a look. So, and then there's this die that actually is the one that I used on my card, and it cuts out the kind of outline of the rainbow. And then we have all these cool different shaped dies that you can use to fill in your rainbow. And I did use all of them except this one, actually. I guess I didn't use that one. And then there are little hearts and the little stars. So again, it's a fun little die set, fun stamp set, and not a terrible pack of paper either. One other thing that I used is the textured notes dies. I'm having a moment. So I did use just the smallest little rectangle die here to cut out my sentiment, but yeah, so that's all I use this for. If you don't have this set of dies, it's actually in the online exclusives. So you have to go out to the Stampin' Up! Store and then click on the menu button and then go to online exclusives, and you will find it underneath that tab. It is a great die set. It cuts out lots and lots of things, makes really great card fronts, and then everything in between. So if you don't have that, just go get it. Trust me. All right. Little windy in California, but otherwise good. All right. doing your walks and pushing yourself. I'm glad you're out doing some walking. I've been doing mine mostly on the treadmill because it's been cold. So, all right. A couple things going on. Stampin' Up has, or I'm sorry, not Stampin' Up. Oh, yeah. It's going to be one of those days, I think. I'll try to get through this without making too many other goofs. I am running a double reward points ordering bonus. No, Stampin' Up, good heavens. So normally for every $50 in merchandise that you order from me in any given order, you will earn one running shoe reward point. And those are my customer appreciation points. Right now, if you order $50, you're going to get 2 points. If you order from me before the Monday, which is, I think it's the 12th on Monday, if you place an order with me, you're going to get double points on that. So that's a nice little bonus. When you get to 8 points, or when you collect up 8 points from your orders, I owe you a free $40 order of your choice. So you can send me your list and all that good stuff. So you get to pick a nice little bonus for you to pick up a few things from the new catalog. And then, speaking of Stampin' Up, they are actually running a little starter kit bonus. So if you join between now and the 31st of May, you get to pick $165 worth of Stampin' Up products in your starter kit for just $99 plus tax if that applies. Your kit will ship for free. You get all those products in it. It's pretty awesome. You get to join as a demonstrator. You get at least a 20% discount on everything that you order. You get to pre-order ahead of time from all the upcoming promotions and catalogs. And yeah, if you join with us, you get to be a part of our team too. So let me know if you have questions about that. We've already had a couple people take advantage of that offer. And it's probably one of the better ones that I've seen in the recent past from Stampin' Up. So this is definitely a good one. You get lots of extra free product when you purchase the starter kit. There's no requirement to do anything beyond purchasing the starter kit. There's no requirement to run a business. So you can come join us, get the discount for yourself. Or you can join, get the awesome product in the starter kit, and then never do anything else. So let me know if you have questions about that. And again, online exclusives, I always encourage you to go look at those anytime you're out shopping. Just make it a habit of yours to go in and click on the online exclusives tab, because items come and go in the online exclusives, and I'd hate for you to miss out on something good and be sad. This is just a very, very small selection of the online exclusives that are available right now. There's like, I don't know, 10 pages or something of stuff out there. So definitely go take a look at those, and yeah, and pick up the texture notes dies while you're at it. So I didn't know I had to have that texture notes die. Yes, you need them, Judith. You just need to just listen to me and just buy it all, and then you'll never be sad. So, all right, let's get started on the card. Okay, so I've got a card base that is petal pink, and it is cut to 8.5. 8.5. Apparently, math and words are not going to be easy for me today. Okay, 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4 in the middle. So it's a standard book fold card, even though it ends up being a top fold card just because of the way that I put it together. And I've got a piece of Boho Vibes Designer Series paper. This is a 6x6 pack, and this is cut down to 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches, so it should fit nicely on the card front. So this is the reverse of it. So I do need some coffee, or maybe I've had too much, and then what happens is when I have too much caffeine, then my mouth goes faster than my brain, which is usually not a good thing. So sometimes that happens too. All right, let's get a little liquid glue on here, and I will try to get my mouth to slow down and say the right words. And I'm going to go ahead and put these together. And there we go. I'm blaming it on the weather. We'll just say that it's the gloomy weather that's making me not be able to talk right. That must be it. It's not that yeah. Anyway, all right. So we will get those two glued together. And then I've got another little piece of the Boho Vibes Designer Series paper. This is cut to about 1 inch by about 3 3/4. Maybe TM, maybe a little wine. I don't know. I haven't had any, but I'm sure I sound like I have, but I swear I haven't. So, all right. Let's get this stuck down. A little Stampin' seal on this. Again, just another piece of the Boho Vibes Designer Series paper. And I kind of just stuck it generally over to the left side. There's no specific placement for it. This is from a sketch challenge, so I just kind of based it on where it was at in the sketch. So, hey, Carol, thanks for hopping in. All right. Next thing that I did is I pre-cut this ahead of time. Again, like I said, I tried to do some of the die cutting ahead so you didn't have to sit and watch me do nothing. But as I said earlier, this is the die that I used from the Sunshine Vibes stamp set bundle. It's the outline die for the rainbow, and I just use that. I cut a piece. This is 3 inches by 4 inches, and it's cloud cover cardstock, which is one of the new in colors. So I cut it with that die. I'm trying not to drop that on the floor. And I'm just going to glue it to a piece of basic white cardstock that's cut to, I know my instructions say 3 inches by 4 inches. If you're really good at gluing things together, you can certainly make it 3 inches by 4 inches, but I made it just like a half a hair shorter on both of those measurements. So if you go just under the 3 inches by 4 inches, then you shouldn't have to worry about the white part sticking out in an area where you don't want it to be. All right, so just adding a little liquid glue here, trying to keep it so I don't get too heavy-handed, because like I said, liquid glue and I do not always get along. I usually glue myself to something before I'm done using it. All right, got that. I'll try not to stick my fingers in it before I really get anything glued together. All right, so there's why I used the liquid glue, so I could wiggle it around just a hair. And I see I got some glue on the background paper, so hopefully I won't glue anything to the actual grid paper, but if we do, it'll peel off. All right, so I've got that glued together, and then I'm going to take a piece of Secret C cardstock, and this is cut to 3 1/8 inches by 4 1/8 inches, and we're just going to layer those one on top of the other as well. So we're just creating a little frame here, a rainbow frame, I guess. All right. Then just using a little Stampin' Seal and adhering the 2 layers together. All right, so we got the outline of our little rainbow done. Then I've got all these fun little die cut pieces here that I actually put adhesive sheets on the back of the cardstock before I ran it through the die cutting machine, which you will definitely want to do that for these little skinny pieces, particularly the ones that have the holes in them, because if you don't, well, maybe if you're really good at using liquid glue, you could glue these on, but I know that I would definitely struggle, so I chose to go with the adhesive sheets route. Now, you don't have to cover every square inch of this with the adhesive sheets. You just need to get enough on there to kind of get the ends secure, and maybe in the center like I did, but really that's probably not even necessary. So I had, like I said, put the adhesive sheets on the back of a piece of petal pink cardstock, and then I cut it with the biggest rainbow die here, this one that's got the little dash line or little dashes in it, dots in it, whatever you want to say. All right, so we're just going to take and peel the adhesive sheets off. And like I said, I will admit that adhesive sheets are a little fiddly. In my opinion, they are not terrible, and they're much easier than dealing with liquid glue. But if you really don't like that part of it, like I said, you can use liquid glue with these die cuts. You're just going to want to be careful so that you don't do what I did and end up with glue all over everything. All right. So I got the first one stuck down. The next little layer in is Mossy Meadow. And again, I pulled the colors straight from the Designer Series paper. And they actually have these 2 little kind of viney looking die cuts. And I just did one of each of those. Yep, I totally agree. Adhesive sheets are the way to go with all of those little skinny die cuts. And I find that, especially if you like cutting things in foil, liquid glue, I don't know how it does it, but I swear it's like it has this thing where it somehow figures out that I'm using foil and then gets glue all over the foil. And once you've got glue on your foil sheet, there's no saving it. You just have to throw it away and get a new foil sheet. So I have definitely learned to use the adhesive sheets on the back, particularly when I'm using anything with foil on it. All right, so again, Mossy Meadow, and I had put the adhesive sheets on the back of it already. So that's just what I'm using to stick it to the card front here. All right, and then we've got Daffodil Delight, which is the next one, and that is this little die with the kind of dashed looking lines in it. And again, adhesive sheets on the back of it. And as you can see, this one, it probably really shows up well on the video, that you definitely don't need to have adhesive sheets all over everything. You just need to have a little bit kind of in strategic places. When I'm using the adhesive sheets, I usually cut mine down to about 2 inches wide. They come in a sheet that is 6 by 12 to start with. I don't know why that's not wanting to let go there. There we go. Apparently I'm peeling it from the wrong side. So the adhesive sheets start at a 6 by 12 piece of adhesive sheet, and then you can just cut it up to whatever size you want it to be, and then you just stick it on the back of your cardstock and then do your die cutting. So Hey, Darlene, no problem. Glad you're here. Can't craft without your tweezers. Yeah, I do a lot with the tweezers, and then I forget it on days like today, and so now I'm picking at it with my scissors, which that works just as well for me too. So, all right. Apparently the dog decided it was time to get up and wander around in the office. I don't know. I'm just trying to keep her from barking at anything. All right, so we got that little layer put in there. And then this one I cut from Cajun Craze cardstock. And this is the little squiggly die is the one that I used here. Again, we're just going to pick the adhesive sheets off the back that I had put on before I did my die cutting. Come on. I don't know. The dog, I think, it's nervous because I think she thinks I'm talking to her and she can't figure out why I'm not looking at her and playing with her. And she's like, don't forget about me over here. So I'll just wander around and, try to figure out what you're doing. I don't know who you're talking to, but it's not me. So, all right. So we'll stick that one here. Kind of, again, we're just building the rainbow from the outside in. And then the final piece is cut from Secret Sea, and I used this little die for that final little piece of the rainbow. And again, I'd put adhesive sheets on the back of this one. And again, you could try it with liquid glue, but there are a lot of holes in this little die cut, and if it were me, I would have a huge mess if I tried to do this with liquid glue. So I chose the adhesive sheet. All right, so there we go. We got the little rainbow all put together, quick and easy. And like I said, the part that took the longest is really just running everything through the die cutting machine. It's really quick to build it once you have that all done. So, all right, let's grab some Stampin' Dimensionals. And we'll stick a couple of, I do chop my Stampin' Dimensionals in half. And I know that some of you love it and some of you do not. So if you love them cut in half, you can cut them in half. If you want them whole, you can use them whole. Or you can use the minis, whatever you prefer. But I like my little half dimensionals because I feel like they're the perfect size. So, all right. Get those dimensional backings off of there. And then we're just going to go over here and we're going to roughly center it. Again, I didn't really measure it, just kind of went with the way it looked to me. All right, there we go. Sorry, I don't know what the dog is all wound up about, but she's definitely pacing around here. And I have hard floors in my office, and so she makes a lot of noise when she stomps around. So hopefully she'll go lay down here in a second. All right, tie in a little bow from linen thread, maybe. If I can get my fingers to work. There we go. And, there we go. Trying to make it not look quite so strange. There we go. All right, looks pretty good. We'll trim it off here, and then we're just going to use a little glue dot to stick it to the card front. So you'd hear the, yeah, sorry. She said she's been, and she's not a little dog either, which is, yeah, she's a golden doodle, and she's about 55 or so pounds. So she's a big dog who is not quiet in the way she walks around my office on the hard floors. So I don't know. Like I said, she finally went and laid down, so she must have decided whatever it was she was trying to get out to go see wasn't really that exciting after all. All right. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp the sentiment, and I've got a piece of basic white cardstock and the thanks sentiment along with a little Secret Sea ink. The dog sounds are wonderful. All right, as long as you don't mind them. Like I said, I try not. Yeah, I don't know. She's a good little girl, but all right. So again, Secret Sea on basic white cardstock, and then I'm going to grab the center die from the Textured Notes dies, and just going to run this through the die cutting machine. So I'll be right back. This one, I think I have it centered. All right, there we go. And then I'm going to take a couple Stampin' Dimensionals, and we're going to put them on either side of the little knot here that I've got glued down. So she does get a little crazy when Karen comes around, but there is a reason for that because Karen always brings her dog treats. So, so she gets all excited, and she does all of her one party trick that she knows, which is giving high fives. And she tries to do that repeatedly to Karen, assuming that every time she gives Karen a high five, she's going to get another dog treat, which sometimes happens. So, all right, sticking this on with a couple little Stampin' Dimensionals. Again, just putting it over the top of the bow so nobody can see that it's glued on there with a big glob of glue dot. And then the original card, I had used a couple of the Mossy Meadow little dots. These are from the same suite, and they are called Muted Palette Dots. And I was thinking that I may change it and do the yellow one on there, because after I put the green on, I thought, the green kind of blends in a little bit too much. I don't know. We're going to try yellow with this card. I don't know if it'll make any difference or not, but we'll put a couple little yellow dots over here next to the sentiment. One of the bigger ones and one of the littler ones. And again, these are all part of that same suite, so everything, the colors coordinate across the board on everything. And that's it for the card front. So super quick and easy. And like I said, I don't know, I feel like the yellow stands out a little bit more in my hand. I don't know how it looks on the video. The green kind of almost melted in with the spots on the paper, I thought. So anyway, either way, you can decide which color is your favorite and put those on. So, all right, we are going to decorate the inside of the card with just a little strip of the Designer Series paper that I trimmed off when I made the card front. This measures about 5/8 of an inch and started out about 6 inches long. And then we're just going to trim it off. Her name is Ginny. Like, my daughter is a huge Harry Potter fan, and we got Ginny back when she was really into watching all of those movies, and so that's where her name came from. So, and yeah, she's a big blonde. She's a golden doodle, so she's definitely got some of the poodle characteristics, but she's just, yeah, she's got a lot of the golden retriever in her too. Although not the retrieving part, just kind of the golden thing. When you throw her things, sometimes they like bounce off the top of her head. So retrieving is really not her specialty. So, but she is definitely a sweet dog. So, all right, that is it. So super quick and easy. Just, lots of little die cuts on here. But when you, is it back? Hopefully I'm back. At least I think I am. It looks like, yep, looks like I'm back. So anyway, thank you. Sorry. My husband called me, of course, right in the middle of all this. So yeah, anyway, sorry about that. I thought I had put the phone on Do Not Disturb, but I clearly had not. So, all right, that is it. Details for this card will be posted on my blog tomorrow, which is stampwithamyk.com. And I'll be posting all the details, have a PDF tutorial. I'll link directly to the tutorial as soon as the post goes live around 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. So you can come back and find the link over to the blog post at that point. And again, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much for being here. I will not be here next week. I'll be out on the Stampin' Up! Trip. So I'll be out and not doing live videos, but I'll be back the following Tuesday. So we'll see you all then. Have a great week. Happy Mother's Day to everybody that is celebrating this weekend, and have a great next week, and I'll plan to see you a little bit later in May. All right, chat with you all soon.